welcome. Thank you.
So tell me about your journey with food.
Okay, that's a big story.
I know, but we all have this relationship with food, and each of us are different. But I believe there's a lot of crossover.
Absolutely.
And you've done a lot of work. I can tell just speaking to you and being with you. Like, I know you've done a lot of work, and I just would love to hear a little bit about your journey. What started it,
right?
And then where it took you,
right? I mean, it started early. I remember my mom, literally what I didn't know as a child, of course, and as a teenager, that I was allergic and a lot of things weren't working in my system. There was setting of things that just made me miserable. And I didn't know what. All I knew was if I ate like everybody around me, the consequences weren't nice. I felt bad, I felt bloated, I had digestive problems, I was constipated. It wasn't working. And I was very athletic. I was a competitive rider. And so I had to keep a certain weight and I was struggling, And when I was 16, it was literally, what is going on with me? What's wrong? And my mom, I wasn't even 10 years old already. She put me on some kind of diet, which didn't work at all. Of course, diets don't work, we know that. But it set me up on this relationship of food, suffering, and feeling something is wrong with me, and that set up a lifelong pattern that it literally brought me to the spiritual path. It really did. I went to India. The initial step to that was, what's going on with me? What's out of balance? Something isn't right, And that started my spiritual journey. Interestingly enough, it became also the gift. And to this day, if my habits are going a little sideways, I'm so familiar now of how I eat when I'm not totally present, that it is the kind of the kickoff to going, okay, what's going on?
Tell me more about what it looks like when you're not present. Like, what if I was looking at you from outside, what would you be eating?
It isn't so much what at this point.
How?
It's more how. And it's an internal feeling of wanting to move away from the present. So either numbing out through food, which I learned on our table as a child, because everything went down on the table. It was like, what did somebody wrong? Okay, you're grounded. And I'm such a sensitive. I feel everything. I feel people around me. I feel the anxiety. And then parents often don't tell their kids what's really going on, but you feel it. And so you have this
maybe
conflict of like, I'm feeling this. I'm told that's not happening. How do I make myself comfortable? And while we're eating, right? So as a child, you find out really quickly what can numb pain.
Pasta.
Or anxiety.
I know for me it's pasta.
And for me, I'm German. Everything is bread, butter, and cheese.
Right.
Every single thing of those things is not great in my system.
And you can recreate those things in healthy formats, but they're still concentrated foods.
Right.
Yeah, that will help slow you down, right?
And it makes you feel not so much.
Yeah.
That's the number one. I can kind of disengage. And it saved my life. Really, it did. That's why because at that point, when you're that sensitive and the environment isn't dealing with that, we're all these sensitive beings, and kind of like forgets about that and is not in touch with it, what do children do? They have no way out.
They have no tool set. They have no education. Tools. What do I do? Because you're in crisis mode already.
So you're trying everything you can to make yourself feel better.